New at 3 o'clock, Nye County officials are warning residents about fraudulent bills being sent to those applying for construction permits. These bills are not legitimate and should not be paid. If you receive one of these bills, do not send any money or wire transfers without first verifying its authenticity. To confirm if the bill is valid, contact the Nye County Planning Office directly. And fraudulent billing schemes targeting construction permit applicants are unfortunately common across the country. For example, in 2024, scammers in Washington state contacted residents, falsely claiming they owed payments for non-existent building permits. A vigilant resident recognized the scam and contacted police.